Everyone's a pedestrian within a picture.
Yeah, like see the messages about all
If you think about it, we've already hit our most.
Yeah. So our mission is
Did you call me?
so we have a lot of stuff together.
the second time Jimmy was like,
RSVP, and I have even did it in one location.
like it's like a club or rec center up there. Like Zimmerman specifically requested it.
Hey, Preston. How you doing?
The office.
So it was like only
Good to see you.
Hey.
How are you? I'm well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leia Bojo!
Okay, fantastic. Thank you all. I am not Chris Riley. I'm Leah Bojo. He is so sad to not be able to be here right now, but so he will be absolutely ecstatic when he sees the photos and the videos of all of y'all here. I mean, he wanted this celebration to happen, and it's happening. And couldn't be more grateful to all of you for showing up. I also want to thank particularly a few elected. There are lots of staffers here, so I'm not going to name all of the staffers, but I do want to thank State Rep Cheryl Cole for coming.
Cheryl!
We had Travis County Commissioner Ann Howard here. I think she might have left, but we appreciate her coming. Austin City Council members Chicho Vela and Ryan Alter.
Chicho!
Celebrate tonight. Celia Israel, former state rep. These are all urbanists too, I just want to say. These are the urbanists. And John Langmore on the ATP board is here. Also our urbanism right here. So again, I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I just want to say just a few words for Chris and for everyone here who's been doing all this work for this time. I mean, the heavy lifting is unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. When I met Chris, I was just a regular old planning student who just thought I was going to do some planning stuff and that would be great, and I didn't even really know what that was going to be. And then I heard about him running for council, and I thought, that seems really interesting. The stuff he's talking about is different than what I'm learning about in school. I didn't even know I would end up getting to work for him. I love that. I ended up working for him while I was in school, which was an unbelievable experience. I'm moving the wrong way. And what I want to say that I think everyone here knows, and that I think is important to keep in mind, and particularly as we celebrate the victories we've had, is when we were doing this work 10 and 15 years ago, it was crazy. Everyone thought we were insane. Like, no one understood. People would say things, they still say them, like, people are supposed to drive cars. Everyone doesn't want to ride a bike, whatever. And we kept working, and Chris never wavered. He never paused and said, oh, maybe they're right, maybe we shouldn't do it. He kept doing it, and he laid groundwork for this movement that couldn't have been laid without that persistence and clarity of vision. And so happy to be handing off this work to this incredible community of urbanists who are going to keep going and going to keep doing the work that has to be done. So that's my interpretation of what he wanted this to be, and I can't wait to tell him about everybody who's here. So thank you so much, and I'm going to hand it over to Jake Crossley.
Thank you, Leah, so much. Smart and passionate council staffers do so much for the people of Austin, even 10 years after the city of Austin stops paying them to do that. And so thank you for your service, Leah. And I got to talk to Chris the other day, and it's very neat to hear him talk about service to the people. And that he learned when he dropped out of school in 7th grade to be a page for State Senator Doggett. But so thank you all for your service to the people of Austin. And thank you for being here, for loving Chris and all that you do to improve the quality of life for the people of Austin. We gathered today to honor a friend, Chris Riley, whose vision and dedication has transformed our understanding of our transportation system, how it can and should be. But Chris doesn't want us to honor him. He wants us to fix these damn streets. And I think we're closer today than many of us realize to the world deserving of Chris's vision. We stand together. We recognize our collective responsibility to reshape the transportation system so no one needs to fear for their loved ones as they walk to the store, or drive home from work, or ride their bike to a friend's house. And so that every family can find an affordable home that allows them the lifestyle they want. We must hold firm to our vision, friends, for an Austin and a Texas with the freedoms and the comforts of the basic dignity demands for our housing and transportation system. Our goals are clear. For the people of Austin, Texas and beyond to have the freedom to ride a bike wherever they want, whenever they want, without the looming fear of danger holding us down. And, you know, Chris and we are freedom fighters. We envision, plan, and implement policies that will offer affordable options for people to live healthy, low-carbon, walkable lifestyles. Woo! A lifestyle millions more want in Texas and don't get yet. Imagine neighborhoods where small apartments abound, free from the burden of mandatory car storage. Where people have access to vibrant communities filled with coffee shops, nature, jobs, shopping, fun, and people playing chess in the streets. And why do I believe that we can turn this vision into a reality? 15 years ago, I had moved back to Houston, and an Austin council member pushed for a better treatment for the 3rd Street Lance Armstrong Bikeway. And I came back for South by, and I saw a vision to behold on the streets of Texas. Concrete protected bike lanes on both sides of the street. This humble council member continues to push the boundaries of what is possible for the people of Texas. And I will not stop. I will not dawdle. I may stumble, make mistakes, and even crash my bike. But I will rise again and continue to push the edges of this envelope of freedom as we strive to provide more and more people with the dignity of living a joyful life in a walkable city connected by frequent transit to other walkable places where they can live as they choose on their bike in open public spaces and in homes that suit their needs. We're gathered in a green place, a place nurtured, guided, and set free by Chris Riley and this band of merry urbanists. This building is over 100 years old, and it has provided 4 homes on 5,000 square feet for decades and decades. And you may not have noticed, but the Rio Grande street treatment through this neighborhood is a pinnacle of modern transportation planning. These slow, multimodal streets are green streets. And nearby, next door, there's another home that Chris is restoring and expanding. And will soon offer 3 homes on a smaller lot with no car parking. So 7 green homes. This is what environmentalism can look like in Texas. Chris has shown us what's possible. Let us honor his legacy by continuing to fight for a future where freedom, dignity, and joy are accessible to all, by way of a nice bike ride past the public park with a bunch of people enjoying a game of giant chess. And so, thank you all. Thank you, Chris. And thank you all for loving Chris. And I will bring up my good friend, another board member with Chris and I at Safe Streets Austin, Heyden Blackwalker.
Sorry, I originally said I wouldn't do this for this reason. I'm glad we're here celebrating the wins, and I'm glad we're here together to celebrate Chris, even though that's not what he wanted. We're doing it anyway. I see Jeb in the audience. I ran into Jeb. I went to Jeb's house for a fundraiser when Chris was running for council, and I hadn't seen Chris in years, and I didn't think he knew who I was, and he said hello. And he was so kind and so sweet, like he always is, and so generous. And I was completely intimidated because he was a council member, and I'm sure I said something really stupid. And he was just really wonderful. And over the last decade or more, we've gotten to work together a lot. And he's just done so many amazing things. I mean, he virtually created the Bicycle Advisory Council and then the Pedestrian Advisory Council. We worked together for years on I-35, and a lot of other folks here did too. He's been a real leadership in personal parking. And he just always was such a great leader. He just, like Leah said, he just always knew what his North Star was, always knew what his North Star is, and always advocated for what he felt was right. And you know, I was thinking earlier today, we had a Safe Streets Austin board meeting yesterday, and Chris showed up. Today he's in the hospital. I mean, it's just that level of dedication and leadership is just extraordinary. So I'm going to try to make a point that Chris made to me that he said he wanted to make tonight, and I'm not going to do it justice. But he called me up a few days ago and he gave me this long speech, and I wish I'd recorded it because it was wonderful, and I'm not going to be able to repeat it. But Chris and I both grew up in Austin. We were both born and raised here. We actually went to 6th grade together at Baker Elementary. And he talked about how Austin has always really valued like being outdoors and being together with friends and family, and just, you know, that whole kind of Austin vibe. And I thought it was a really interesting point I never thought about, because, you know, maybe it's time for the people who grew up here, who usually the ones that, you know, at city council stand up and say, I've lived here for 58 years, you know, and, you know, that we're actually, what we're doing is embodying the values that we espoused to long ago. And we're really, in our streets, we're turning our streets slowly but surely into public spaces. Gerard Kinney was here earlier, and he and Sinclair, my father, created the Great Streets Master Plan. And 2nd Street is such a big thing for Chris, and he really talked about how important 2nd Street is, a place that you want to be, a place for people, a place where you go and you dwell and you have, what's going on? Sorry. Anyway, destinations. So I thought that was an important point, and I wanted to raise that what we're doing and turning our streets into streets for people is really living our values, and I think that's just so great. With that, I just want to thank everybody for being here, and Adam Greenfield is going to be our last speaker, and bring it on.
I'm hoping to preserve the rule that people born in the UK don't cry. At least publicly.
Stiff up a little.
I know many of you here, or some of you here at least, have not yet met Chris and came today because you were excited to do so, because you have heard about what an amazing person he is. And I'm sorry that Chris won't be here. I think powerfully for you, it very much for me feels like Chris is here. By their friends and those they admire, so you shall know them. And we shall know Chris by the assembled here today, which is so powerful. There's so much history with us all and Chris, and we are his community, and it's just such a beautiful thing. Chris is one of the greatest people I have ever known. He is one of the most inspiring people. I cannot believe that I and many of you had the privilege to spend time with him and to benefit from his wisdom and his character. My advocacy is profoundly transformed by Chris Riley. You know, for me, his basic message is think big and never give up. And I think that has just permeated city policy, it's permeated advocacy, it's permeated what we aspire to do in our own lives. And that is just so Chris. He is a great man, a great statesman. And, you know, the way it is not, Chris is not shy about the fact that his end is coming, and he's been very public about that. And if you haven't read Jack Craver's article about Chris that came out yesterday, I think it was, right? Please read it. I'll ask someone to forward it to you if you haven't read it. This is the most amazing facing of your end I have ever seen. This man has raised the bar for all of us. I'm speechless how to articulate this. One of the reasons you will see in that article that he feels at peace at this time is us. Because he feels like Austin has come far enough and there are enough of us ready to keep the torch burning strong, that he feels very, very happy and very excited for Austin's future. And we are giving that to Chris. That is our gift to Chris. And I could not be more grateful for all of us for doing that for him, for one of the greatest men that we have ever met. This is a really remarkable email that Chris sent the other day. I hope it's okay that I can read this. This is so Chris Riley. I'll just read a little bit of it. This was sent on Monday. Austin is a wonderful place and I love it very much. But in general, as of this time, it has not done very well at creating great public spaces. We have treated our downtown streets very functionally as conduits for cars. When I went to reserve a space at Austin Memorial Park for my gravesite, I was disappointed to find that Austin is taking a similarly functional approach to the storage of bodies at this cemetery. There are essentially no walking paths in the cemetery, just roads for cars. Trees are actively discouraged because they would take away from the storage of bodies. You could substitute cars for that, and you see his advocacy career right there. The reason I want to be buried in the cemetery in Austin is because I like the idea of staking out a public space in this city. Please consider this a heartfelt request of anyone who cares about creating better public spaces in Austin. Even as he's facing this reality, that is the kind of thing he is talking about. Never give up. That is the Chris Riley message. Never give up. And I think, thank you, Cheryl. I think that's all I have to share. We are Chris Riley. We honor him with the work that we do. We are making him proud, and this is the way it should be. This is good, and he is happy. So thank you so much.
Yes, I brought my campaign sign. I met Chris when I moved here in 2002, and I became a resident of the Downtown Austin Neighborhood Association. And a member, and he was president. And he inspired me to become president 6 years later. So the press at that time was to get people to live downtown. It wasn't a great place to live. And Chris had the vision for making it a great livable downtown. And I think what we have today is, to a great extent, what he, Gerard, and a bunch of architects who envisioned a better downtown had in mind and brought to pass.
I served on the Austin City Council with Chris from 2006 to 2014. And I've, of course, experienced his advocacy for you guys, the Urbanists, and that was near and dear to his heart. I was really proud to be a part of the City Council who named me a couple of months ago, and it was well deserved. But I want to tell you, I heard from Chris about 5 weeks ago. He gave me a call, and he said, Cheryl, I saw you at the City Council, and I didn't get a chance to speak to your mother. And she's here, and she remembers Chris, but that is Chris. He's not just about issues. He's a good person. And I hope that you're all with him. Thank you.
I'm Chito Vela. I'm on the City Council right now. Really appreciate Chris's leadership over the years when I was not actively involved in politics. I remember Chris's early campaigns in Austin, and the bike riding council member. It was just really just so visionary, so kind of paradigm shifting to be like, who is this guy? And it was exciting to see his career on council 100%. And honestly, the only thing I wanted to say, just as a current council member, and as I'm very proud of the current council for all the steps they've taken. Chris said that he, very difficult, obviously, moments, was comforted that the vision that he had for Austin, that what he wanted to see was moving forward today. And that was just such a touching compliment and such a touching comment. I felt that very deeply. I appreciated the leadership, and there are many here to carry on the torch. So thank God.
Does anybody else would like to speak? We will let everybody get back. There's also a lot of food inside where there's fewer flies, so feel free, but no pressure. Here. I also want to say one more quick thing, which is that we just learned that the Parking Reform Network is going to name an award after Chris Riley. The Chris Riley Parking Reform Award is going to be an annual Parking Reform Award. You are the future.
I'm Spencer Schumacher. It's great to see you, Chris. I've always loved seeing your face at the Bicycle Advisory Council when you're able to pop in. I'm here because ever since I moved to Austin at the age of 18, I've been able to live car-free, getting around on my e-bike, and that has just created so many wonders for me in terms of being able to hopefully raise a family soon and be able to live in this wonderful city. And it's all thanks to the people like Chris who have come before us and laid the foundation. And I'm here because I want to make sure that we continue that legacy and make sure that every person can live car-free in Austin, live affordably in Austin, and experience the opportunities of Austin. Awesome.
Right. So my name is Lane Wimberly. I know Chris because of cycling. I've known Chris for years because of cycling. One of the happy memories that I have knowing Chris is when he won city council. I was so excited about that, and I remember being at Schultz's Beer Garden and giving him a big hug because of that. And it just so happens that my wife has become a really devoted urbanist, and so she also has gotten to know Chris, and the two of us have the highest regard for Chris. What can I say?
Hello, Chris. You know what? I was passing by few minutes ago. We are driving. Normally, I pass walking down the street here, and we are always talking about this. You have beautiful building, the location. But I saw so many people here, and I want you to know that I am joining them to tell you to remain strong and to try to recover. So don't let anything bother your mind. You will be able to come back, hopefully, to your beautiful building here where you have worked so hard. Chris, stay well. And
Chris, dang it, you should be here. But I guess we're going to be saying that for a while. Thank you for all that you've done, and I imagine that's a common thread among everybody who's talking to you. So I guess my message is a little different. I really appreciate knowing that somebody that's my age and my generation has had such a profound impact on the community that we share. And not only that, but that you're such a swell guy, and Heyden and I have really enjoyed being friends. And I hope that you feel all that love. Bless you.
Hey Chris, I remember when I met you at at a Boards and Commissions event, and I needed money to buy a beer, and you gave me $10, and that was really nice of you because I had just met you. And that's when I thought, oh, Denise has met a great guy, And then over the years, you know, we had more interactions, and especially you were a big, big help with the coyote issue. I didn't work with you so much directly, but I got the ball rolling, and then you helped out, and then you had these meetings with David Lundstedt and all these other people, but it was something I got the ball rolling on, so I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you advised me when I bought a bicycle and I was going to ride to work at Sanchez Elementary, but I didn't ride to work to Sanchez Elementary, but I still have the bike, and I'm really glad that you introduced me to, not introduced me, but you got me thinking about doing more bike riding, and I take the bus a lot, and I think of you all the time when I do that. So thanks for your service on City Council. Thanks for being a good friend to me. I'm so glad that you and Denise have had all these great years together, and I'm just so glad to have known you with all your good work. Thanks.
Hey Chris, it's KT Musselman, formerly known as Carl Thomas. You know, I'm down here from Williamson County of all places to be here, and that's because I've managed to find my way as I was pushed out by the ever-changing affordability in Austin, from being a blogger back in the Burn Orange Report days to the activist in city politics that I was. I've moved 17 times since I've been in Austin. And now I'm up in Avery Ranch. So I'm still in the city, but I'm on the last 50 yards of it, I think. But that means I got to run for office in a unique place. I serve as a Justice of the Peace JP in the court up in Round Rock now, and I get to represent the 60,000 Austinites that are so far away that they're across the county line. I wanted to say that I took the subway here today. And by that I mean the one part of submerged highway that exists over there on Mopac. That the one bit of tunneling on the ground that we've been able to accomplish so far. But I know there's more to come. And I know that the fight wouldn't be where it is because of where it's been. So I think about that a lot. I get to live the consequences of it in my daily life. I know that the world is going to be a better place because of it.
Hello, Chris. My name's Jacob. I've never met you before. I'm here today because my professor emailed me about this. I'm very passionate about urban planning and walkability. I grew up in Austin, and I've heard you've done wonderful things for the city, so I want to say thank you. You've definitely left a legacy. We'll continue to do our best to carry it on.
Okay.
It is now going. Okay. Hi, Chris. My name's Christian May. This is Kim Corral. We never had the chance of meeting you before, but I wanted to thank you so much for all of your work, creating a city that we love, that we can live in with people that we love, and in a way that we love. We thanks to you, are able to live here without a car. We get around on a bike. And I always wondered how Austin got to be such a great city that it is today, and I only just recently learned that we really have you and plenty of other folks who've worked really hard to think for that. So I just really, really, really wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
I just wanted to add on to that 2 years ago today, we moved to Austin, and that was because we visited this city because we had a friend's wedding, and then we just fell in love, and we wanted to be here too, as well, and live here, living downtown and biking around the 3rd Street, protected bike lanes. That's been my favorite part, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Hey Chris, Eric Goff. It's so good to be able to speak to you in this way. I've just been thinking a lot lately about what I wanted to say to you, and I know we had a chance to talk recently, and I think that what I've done is have a public life, in part because you made me realize that that's possible. And today I, do civic engagement and, state engagement for a living, and I saw that it was something that I personally could have an impact on, and that inspired me to live the way I live, and it's been that way for a while, and you're a big part of that. So I hope you're doing well, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks.
Hi, Chris. It's Sally Merchant. First off, Sean says hey. He wishes he could be here. I wish that I could give you a hug. Sorry, I'm not being a little cooler, but I just want to say that you are way ahead of your time. A real inspiration, a trailblazer in Austin. So there's a bunch of people here, they all love you, and I wish you the very best. Oh, I'm not done. See, my son Max is such a bicycle fan. He sends me pictures of where sidewalks end and where cars were blocking the bike lane. He was in College Station, so that was our communication while he was going to school. And my daughter's not quite as enthusiastic about it as Max, but very much in love with good walkable places. So Sean and I have raised two wonderful children in your same fabric. So it's nice to be here. I wish I could see you. Thank you so much.
Hey Chris, we haven't had the honor of meeting, but my name's Adam Powell. I'm running for City Council up in North Austin's District 7, and I just wanted to tell you that without the work that you've done to push urbanism as a concept to make Austin a better place, I don't think I'd be able to run on the urbanist policy platform up in North Austin that I'm running on. So thank you for your work, wishing you all the best, and just grateful for you.
All right, hey Chris. Well, here we are. Sorry you were not able to be here today, because this was pretty amazing. Both for all the folks that we've worked with so many years, celebrating the victories, but also so many young folks who are committed, inspired, who are carrying on the work. And that's all so great. It's so funny. I remember when you showed up for that creek cleanup on Shoal Creek. 99, 98, I don't know, whenever it was. So, it's been a long, strange trip, and glad we could do it together. Love you.
Hi, Chris. We haven't spent an enormous amount of time together, but I have spent an enormous amount of time with especially some of the people who worked for you, and you brought into your office and then into the movement, Leah and others you've inspired, and I think that is really a mark of the impact is not necessarily the things that we accomplish, but the things that the people who we bring in and foster and encourage and mentor, what they accomplish. And they are some of the most wonderful people who have accomplished most wonderful things in town that I know of. And so from my heart, thank you for them. And thank you for all that you've done, and I really will be endeavoring to keep that in my heart as we continue to work to better our community for our community. So thank you.
Chris, I'm here at the party, and I hear you're in the hospital again. Lloyd and I are so very, very sad that you and Denise are having to go through this. You have made such a difference in our lives, in the life of our city, Denise's life, in your family's life. You have so much to contribute, and we need to. But I know that you are ready to take the next step and aren't feeling great, and living here is not that wonderful either. Hope something turns around. We're still hopeful that a miracle will happen. You will be returned to the vibrant person who made such a difference for us and for the city and for bikes. I wish you could be here because I knew this was a party for you because it's full of bicycles. So we love you.
Howdy, Chris.
I've met you and I'm glad to know you, but I don't feel like I can grieve like many other people here are grieving, because I didn't interact with you that much. I consider myself a grandchild of the movement that you started, one of Chris Riley's grandchildren. I was not inspired by you, but I was inspired by all the people that you inspired, and I'm really grateful that I get to be in a position where I can, help to hold the torch and carry the banner, and it's the best thing. It's the most important thing I feel like I have going on in my life, and I feel so grateful that I moved to this city and I discovered this movement and this energy, and that I get to be in charge of it at a time when so many exciting and interesting things are happening. And I consider a lot of the things that I've done at City Council, the reforms I've helped pass, to be the most important things that I've done with my life up to this point. And maybe I won't get to do more important things, but I feel like I've been able to be part of more impactful things than I think most people get to do with their lives, and I don't think that'd be possible if I didn't get to carry on the thing that you started. So thank you.
Hey Chris, it's Ani. First of all, I am so grateful we got to connect in person a couple weeks ago and feel that connection that I felt the day we sat next to each other. And I'm not alone in all the people who feel the wonderful connection with you. I want to tell you how grateful I am for being seen. You're giving us a great example of what living out one life to the end can look like. And I know there's something beyond for you, and maybe we will connect on that level. I love you, I care for you, and I thank you.
Hi Chris, Preston Tyree. I am just so pleased and so enamored of this group that could come out to say what a change you've made in Austin. It's amazing how many people, young and old, are living your vision and your change of the way we do things in Austin. And it's just so exciting to see all these people. Sorry you're not here, but we all love you, and we are going to carry this on and make a difference. Thank you, Chris.
Hi, Chris. We never met. I just moved to Austin 1 month ago. I came here because I love the city, not because of a job or anything else that could tie me here. I think that I see my purpose here as picking up the torch of what a lot of urbanists like you have already started here, and I'm ready to join the ranks and make change happen, and I'm very excited to create the Austin that you wanted to create. So thank you for all the work that you did.
Chris, thank you for everything. The beer and the koozie. I may have to keep this and take it to City Hall and drink my beers in City Hall in my Chris Riley koozie. No, man, thanks for everything. You were a thought-provoking council member and candidate way back in the days when I was younger and interested and thinking about cities and transport and all that kind of stuff. And it's just been a joy to see the city change, to see the direction change, and to see everything moving forward. Thank you so much, and appreciate everything that you've done.
All right. Hey, Chris, it's Roy Whaley. I'm here at your Hoot Nanny, and I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you for being one of the many Buddhas I've met on my road of life. You've been a great teacher to me. And I remember sitting in this house talking to you when you first ran, and you kept handing me book after book after book that I needed to read. And I finally stopped you on the 4th book. And I took them all home and I read them all, and I have all of them but one, which I gave to someone else. But thank you very much, Chris, for everything. My position has changed over time, and you're a big part of the reason for that. Thank you again, buddy. Adios.
Hi, Chris. First of all, notice my shirt. I love it. Designed by Tom Flood. But it's so amazing to be here and see your impact on Austin. I remember meeting you, I think, 3 years ago. We met at the Starbucks in your neighborhood, and I showed you how to use the Discord app because that's what we were using for Rethink 35 communications. And yeah, I'm just in awe of today, and yeah, I'm so grateful to be here and for everything that you've done, and I really hope that we change 15th Street in your honor very soon.
Hi, Chris. It's hard to know where to begin, but today I felt like you were here with us. It felt like you were present with all these people who know you and have been influenced by you. It is difficult to articulate your influence on me personally. Sometimes even a small comment of support goes a long way when you need that, and there were times that you did that for me. I don't think I told you on those occasions how much the support that you would give meant. But it's like little streams feeding into a river. Those were the things that have helped me, move forward as an advocate. And even until now, you have encouraged me to think bigger and push for bigger visions and stretch out. And you were right to do that, and that has happened. And I couldn't thank you enough for everything you've done. And as you have been foundational in so much advocacy around the built environment, it is almost like you are now part of the physical fabric of Austin. Like Austin is you, and you are Austin. And so I think I will always think of you when I'm riding my bike around town. I'll feel like I'm riding with you, and I feel like when I'm in a great public space that will be coming in Austin, and that is your vision, and we're going to realize that vision, that I feel like you will be with us in that public space when we hold the next Ciclavia, when we win City Leap, when we pedestrianize Congress Avenue, when we move closer to the city that you always wanted the city to be. You will be with us, and we will be with you. So to thank you feels insufficient for the enormity of what you've given us and given me personally, but thank you nonetheless.
Hey, Chris. I don't really have anything planned to say. I've had the good fortune of getting to talk to you so much and Denise so much in the last little while, but I am in this moment. I do want to share with you that I am so happy that this event happened and that so many people showed up to thank you for your work and to commit to the future of this work. And I think you saw a little bit of it on the Ring cam, and I think you're going to see more of it when you see the video. And I just love knowing that right now you are seeing this momentum that we've worked toward, and this incredible love for you and love for great places and understanding of what the work is that needs to be done. I'm so grateful to you for teaching me that. And it's really fun to be in this community of people that are also so grateful to you for showing them how to do it. So thank you so much, and I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Chris, Matt Holland here. I just wanted to wish you well on your journey, and I
just wanted to tell you how much it's meant to me to have you as a friend and as a community leader. Our time on the Planning Commission is one of the highlights of my life, and I just, there's a lot more to say, but I just think you're a tremendous person. You've got a hell of a good sense of humor and an incredible perspective, and I think a lot of people live more joyful, loving lives as a result of the things that you talked about, the things you've done, the things that you set into motion here in our city. And I'm working this is nerdy, but I'm still working on these ordinances on the city staff side, on the watershed side, and we're trying to figure out how to right-size our regulations for small-scale multifamily, like your wonderful, beautiful house here, and small-scale subdivisions. And anyway, you've really set us in the right direction, and I just want to say you're at the point of another incredible journey for you, and I just wanted to tell you how much we love you, and we're going to miss you. So anyway, take care, my friend.
Hey Chris, I don't know that I have a whole lot to say that hasn't already been said, and I don't know that I know I don't know you as well as other people that have spoken know you, but I know that being here today feels like being around people who think of you as family and think of you as a part of Austin's history. And I think everyone here today just loves you so much and thinks so highly of you, myself included. And I know that this is a party about urbanism, but I think that I have always greatly respected you and thought very highly of you, and I think that the way that you are facing this part of your life is with courage and grace, and I hope that I can do the same when I get there. I think you're amazing. I think you are something for all of us to aspire to in your career and in how you treat people, in what you want out of life, and in how you're facing the end of your life too. And I'm sorry you can't be here today, but everyone here has only wonderful things to say about you and is feeling inspired to keep fighting the good fight. And so I'm sending a lot of love and kindness.
Hey Chris, it was a great turnout. Sorry you couldn't be here, but I'd like to say thanks for everything you've done over the years for the cycling community and just Austin in general. You gotta be that great.
Good. Hey Chris, this is Craig. It's been a long time. Strange thing, I thought of you the other night, like on Monday night, and I was like, what are you up to? And I looked up your name, and Carver's article came up, and I was just like, oh my God. So I'm so happy to see that. I mean, not happy to see it, but I was happy to be aware of this party tonight, and so I was like, I got to be there. And so it was really nice to come here tonight, and under these circumstances, and come back to the house and see the house and see all the people, these old folks I haven't seen in a long time. And, by the way, the house looks great. It's nice you really made it a nice home, and remind me of a lot of conversations we had when we were working on it, and nice to see and reconnect with a lot of downtown folks, and so I'm so glad I came, and it just reminded me of the early meetings we had at the Regency and the very first days of Dana, and even coming up with the name Dana, and working on the bikeway, and just so many things. And so really a pleasure to know you, and that you're part of my life. And so wish you well, and it's really nice to be here. And hope I get a chance to say hello again. Thanks.
Okay, so I went back and forth with my boss, Jay Crossley, about how I should address you. So, Mr. Riley, Very nice to meet you. I'm Katrina Miller, and I am one of the grandchildren of your advocacy, and I feel so lucky to live in an Austin that has more and more protected bike lanes. I get to use the shared use path on Barton Springs Road almost every day, and I am really, really grateful for everything that you did and have done to make Austin the place that it is, including encouraging community like what's out at your house tonight. So thank you so much, and I'm Katrina Miller. I work for Fireman City as a policy advocate. I'm talking to cops about crosswalks a lot these days, and it's awesome, and it's thanks to you.
I'm just so happy with where things are with Austin right now. It's a thrill for me to personally get to work on a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about. Chris and I have been working on urbanist stuff for a long time in Austin, specifically parking, and the progress that's been made has been really amazing, and we're just so happy with what's happening. It's been a pleasure, obviously, to get to do this stuff, and now I get to do it full time, and it's just been so fun. We're really excited about the things we're doing in Austin, and it's just been a thrill to watch a leader like Chris, get to do and lead the way on all these things. So, thanks.
Hi, Chris. This is Susan Summers. I never felt that we got to know each other very well, but I always felt that I got to know you well through Aura. When we were founding Aura, my friends on the first board worked with you a lot. They were down at your office a lot, and I was usually behind the scenes running meetings or tweeting from the meeting, and I wasn't there. But you were such an inspiration to all of us when we were founding Aura. Honestly, I think we could have given up that first year if we hadn't had your model to guide us and show us the way. I just remember many late night city council meetings where people would be down at City Hall, and I remember one in particular, you may remember it as well, where there was a big thunderstorm going, and Lee Leffingwell was like, "I'm not leaving in this weather, we're going to go to 2 a.m., and there was just a parade of very, very angry NIMBYs just yelling at y'all. I think it was about micro units, the first micro units resolution, and I was at home that night live tweeting the meeting from the Aura Twitter, and I just remember your just unflagging good spirits throughout that night and throughout the process was really just such a guide and a guidepost for us all of how to engage in politics and do it with dignity. We really appreciate you. You were so inspirational to all of us, and now it's crazy because now I'm seeing myself become the older generation of urbanists, and all the people on the Aura board are younger. So thank you for all you did. We're going to carry this all the way. We're going to keep working on these streets, and we're going to do all these things and make Austin the place we know it can be. Thank you.
Hey Chris, Timothy Bray here. I am so excited with all the work we've been doing, and your role in it. I still remember when I was a little UDEM, 19 or 20, and you were running for city council, and you showed up on a bike, and it was so weird to be like, oh, council member is showing up on a bike. I know crap about urbanism. I voted for Laura Morrison because she's a better Democrat, but I just remember your infectious enthusiasm and Catherine Hetchen telling you that you needed to not talk to me for 30 minutes, but talk to everyone. And then I remember 2014, where you were running. I was running again your campaign for city council, and that forum where you're like, "There's never been a more exciting." There was a forum at Capitol Factory, and you were speaking there, and you said, "There's never been a more exciting time in the world of parking," and it was like, "Oh my God, I love this!" Like, I know Catherine will probably hate you right now, but I love it, and I remember. It was just a special moment, and it's something I always tell people about. This is Chris Riley to me, the person who's so excited about parking, and I mean we've carried that. It's been an inspiration to me. That was my first campaign as a field director, and now working at City Hall, helping, pushing to make that a reality, and will too. And you were one of the biggest are one of the biggest inspirations for me in that work. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you and how much so many other people appreciate you and your work on it. And we're gonna continue that work, and you're gonna continue to be a big part of why that's a thing. And I don't know what else to say, but that's just. I hope I get to spend more time with you in the next couple months and talk with you. And honestly, even that work on that Anderson Square case, where I know you're doing some work, and that's super helpful because we're trying to make that a reality and working with that neighborhood on that. and you're being willing to work on that restrictive covenant. That like we're going to make something good urbanist reality there, and I just can't. I don't know what else to say. So I hope we get coffee sometime soon. But if not, I look forward to carrying. You the work that you've been doing, and how much of inspiration you've been to so many people, and continuing that. So thank you so much.
Chris.
That's what you're looking at.
Okay.
But I'm going to turn it away because I want you looking at the camera.
Okay.
Go.
Hi Chris, it's Heyden. I wish you had been here for this celebration, but we did what you wanted us to do. We celebrated all of the new urbanist wins that you started and are so responsible for. We're so grateful for everything you've done. Everything you've done. And I wanted to tell you that the dinner that you and David and I had the other day was at Asti was really great. I was afraid, Tim doing it now, I was afraid I'd get weepy that night, but you were so happy and the conversation was so much fun. I just want you to know that will be one of the most memorable dinners I've ever had, and I think I ever will. It was really special. And David's right here. Thanks, Chris. We love you.
Hey, Chris. This is Mike Gorse. I don't know if you remember me, but I've met you a bunch of times at different places. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you in person, but I just wanted to thank you for everything. You were involved before a lot of people were in trying to advocate for those of us who either can't drive or would rather not, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for the city, and now there are like a whole lot of people continuing on what you've started, which I think is a good thing. So I think that I just wanted to tell you that I feel like you've accomplished a lot and done a lot of things, and I wanted to thank you for everything.
Dear Chris, we're at your house wishing that you were here, but the fact that so many people are at your house and talking about the issues that we are talking about and celebrating the victories and thinking about the things that we can do are because of you. Me personally, I mean, you hired me in 2014 and introduced me to your idea of how a city could look. I went to a policy school. You told me I love people who went to the LBJ school, and I did, and I had no idea about land use and uniquely how our cities really how we regulate our land use is how people can live in our cities. And you completely opened my eyes to that. You changed my life. I remember I talked to Leah and said, so I work here now, do I have to ride my bike to work every day? And she said, well, not every day, but most days, maybe if you can. And I did, and it changed the way I interacted with my neighbors in my neighborhood. I rode a bike here today. I would have it no other way. We just owe a tremendous debt to you, your foresight and just inspiration for young and old and wanting to just connect people in a city. Like that's what a city should do, and I think that's what you would say is what a city should do, is connect people to do commerce, to recreate, to make friends, to reconcile old differences. And I'm so happy that I was able to meet you and do that. And you've changed my life. You've changed Austin. You've changed the world. And we love you. And I hope to get to see you on Friday. And Denise, we love you as well.
Hey Chris, we haven't met. My name is Robert Bowler, but from everything I've been learning about you lately, you seem like a total badass, and
I'm very grateful for the work you've done for this city. I mostly volunteer with Rethink 35, also some stuff with Aura, just a big bike and train buff, and you have laid so much groundwork for so much stuff that's happening right now, and it seems to only be picking up speed. So I'm really proud of you and your work, and you seem like quite the role model, and thank you for taking life by the horns all the way through. So, yeah, thank you, and enjoy your time.
Okay, hi Chris, this is Emily Smith. As you may remember, I was the staff liaison to the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Councils for quite a while. And so I always appreciated your presence there, speaking up for what was right. And I've just always admired you and appreciated you and your kindness that you've shown towards me. And I can't stop smiling because it's really amazing the crowd that you've brought out here tonight. A real testament to you and your legacy. So I just want to wish you all the best and say thank you for all you've done.
All right, hi Chris. So the story that just popped into my mind tonight when I was here with all these people, that we've worked on all of the bike ped housing stuff with, is when in 2021 there was an article that came out about how the bicycle program had achieved 50% of their build out for the All Ages, All Abilities bicycle network. And I remember we had a Teams meeting kind of early on in the pandemic with me, you, I think Adam Greenfield, Tom Wald, and Ted Siff, and Laura and Nathan from the Bikeways program. And I don't know what exactly we were supposed to be talking about, but somehow we ended up talking about this 50% build out goal. And you were so intent on how it was dishonest to represent this 50% build out as all ages, all abilities, and you were just laying into Laura and Nathan at this meeting and yelling, and I was what? No one else is saying anything. What do I do? And it was on Teams or Zoom, so we couldn't make eye contact with each other across a conference table. I didn't know what to do, but you really said, I think, what was on everyone's mind in that meeting, and really, I think it said all that needed to be said, and so I still think of that fondly, actually pretty frequently, so that's been on my mind tonight. So sorry that you can't be here, but love seeing everyone here, and just know that that's something that's that I think of, and definitely I think it was a move in the right direction for sure. So thank you so much.
Hey Chris, it's Patricia. Nina's story inspired me to come over here, and I wanted to thank you for letting me know it's good. It inspired me to speak up, and it's okay to get mad about stuff. Sometimes it's what it takes to get things done. So yeah, I've been inspired by you ever since I met you. I also want to thank you for always taking pedicab seriously as a transportation option. I think when I first started pedicabbing, it felt like, we were if bikes are the stepchildren, the pedicabbers are the bastard children of the stepchildren. We didn't really take it very seriously. And I remember when I first met with you in your office as a council member, I felt listened to. I felt like I was part of something. So I really appreciate that support all along. And the social rides, and and the bikes. I'm sure there's more. Thank you, and all the best to you. And I hope I can see you soon.
All right. Hi, Chris. My name is Amy. I grew up in Austin, but never really paid attention to city politics. But in 2015, I started riding my bike around town, and I recently learned that you helped make Austin what it is today, and safer to bike around the city, and I love it. And I can't wait to see more safe bike routes be put up in the city and to continue your work. Thank you for your service.
My name's Sasha Civilum. Hi, Chris. I don't know. I only recently learned about you, but it's been very inspiring seeing the sheer force that you have of bringing so many passionate people in one place. And I have been slowly becoming part of the city, and I would love to participate more because this is the kind of community that I love, and I want to see this city do more that helps bring people together. So it was really a great evening.
Hi, Chris. This is Katie Cam. Used to be Katie Larson. That's who I was when I was working with you at the City of Austin. And I absolutely loved working with you when I was a city planner and you were on the Planning Commission. It made that job so much more interesting. And I will say every time I went to Planning Commission and heard you talk, you were a very articulate and inspiring speaker. And I liked how we were on the same page on planning policies, and so I felt like we were a team where I was trying to help progress planning policy on the staff side, and you were doing your part on the Planning Commission side. And it just made me feel like my career there was that much more productive and meaningful because you were there and making those changes. So I'll always be appreciative of that, and I made my tenure there just the highlight, really, quite frankly. I love that we worked on mixed use and pedestrian and bicycle stuff and car sharing, and it was just like, it was so much fun to be working on those things and knowing that you were there advocating for those during that time period when those ideas were still very new. It was great. I've been reflecting a lot on the last 24 years or so since I've known you. We see each other and then we don't, and we go off and do our thing, but then we come back together and talk, and it's so easy to just pick up the conversation again with you. I have one really fond memory. I don't remember when it was. I think it was during the pandemic or maybe right before, but there was a bike ride where we stopped at a park. It was a social bike ride. Stopped at a park, there was a little hill. I think Jason was putting up a documentary about bikes, and we saw each other and we started chatting on the hillside while the bike documentary was going on, and it was just so delightful, and it was just like so amazing to just like immediately connect with somebody and be like, yeah, we're like both into biking, we're both into being outside and being part of communities that really want to create public spaces where people can bike to a park and watch a bike documentary. Like, it was just really delightful, and I love that I have that memory with you. I will say also that I was super proud and so happy that you won City Council. I've never really been super connected with a city council campaign like I did with yours, because I had worked with you when I was at the city, and so when you ran for city council, I was like, I'm putting that Chris Riley sign in my front yard. I know this person, and I know he's going to be the best person for the job. Very well deserved. And so I'm so happy that you were there and that you affected change in that way. There's a theme that keeps coming up in the conversations and the speeches that are given about how you feel this peace knowing that your legacy will be carried on, your vision will be carried on. And sorry.
Well, no, there's a cat bar. There's a cat bar that is put on by Austin City Council because, they want to spend their money on consultants and not on giving us people to do all the work. So I don't know.
And that is so true. I didn't have a chance to tell you, but in October I got the job of Assistant Director of Traffic and Transportation for the City of Pflugerville. And when I started that job, it was 6-lane roads, no bike lanes. Sidewalks were just like, oh, you can just drop that from the plan to save money. It was just not a good situation. I stepped into that role, and I know you were part of the spirit that I brought into it. I was like, we're going to add sidewalks, we're going to add bike lanes, we're not going to make the roads as wide, and we're going to create street space that people want to be in. And so I've been able to affect change in that way. So your legacy, your vision is being carried forward, and I'm taking on that leadership position. I'm riding my bike to work. I'm speaking up in meetings when I'm in a room full of engineers that think big roads are the answer, and I can definitely attribute that strength in me to do those things with watching you early on in my career as a planner and seeing you do that. So you've definitely been an inspiration in that regard. So yeah, I'm so glad Preston died for video recording this, because I really wanted to have a chance to share all that with you. Your work has meant a lot to me. I'm so glad that our paths crossed and we were able to work together, and your legacy, your memory, all that, all wonderful, and it'll carry on. We adore you. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Consilio. Hi, Chris. I'm here at this party to celebrate all of the great urbanism that has happened over the last couple decades that you have influenced, and it's been so amazing to meet all these people that are your basically like your colleagues, and then your like children and your grandchildren. There's like these multi-generations that I've been meeting that are like, well, you know, like some of your like these people who are like, I didn't work directly with Chris, but I was my mentor has been mentored by Chris. Which is just like, wow, what an amazing legacy that you have on this city. And I feel so grateful to have gotten to know you a little bit and to be your friend. And I see the influence that you have on Adam. He's so inspired by you, and you've just been such an amazing supportive friend and mentor to him. And yeah, we're just so grateful to have you in our life. And I love you, and I hope to see you in a couple days.
Hi, Chris. I just want to say thank you, man. You've been an inspiration. I wasn't here when you were first elected to council. I got to Austin in 2012 after being in Dallas for 5 years, and there was this interesting council member who was riding around town on his bike, and it kind of blew my mind that was actually happening, and your leadership has just been so inspiring to me, and I just can't thank you enough for laying the groundwork for everything that's been happening in the last few years and all the exciting stuff that's to come. So thank you, man. Love you.
And then there's someone like, hey, me too. And they're like, oh, me too.